Hello, everyone, and welcome to our last 70-star league match of the night here on the Global Speedrun Association channel, this time between protoman5 and Gainai of Germany. My name is Electric, and I'm super hyped to come this match. Both of these guys are decently comparable. Gainai maybe a little bit higher of a level, but if you've been following him on Twitter, he has been dealing with an illness lately, so we'll see how that might affect his racing performance. Protoman, though, definitely a very consistent player, oftentimes going for the owl and wumps, for example, and just playing things very, very safe and comfy, but getting some decent times as a result from just playing with what he knows really, really well. So it'll be interesting seeing what these guys are able to do. It's pretty much that Protoman will set a nice benchmark time, and Gainai just has to beat it. Protoman, of course, has gotten some decently fast times, but he definitely kind of tends to hover around this like nice 50 so average. So we'll see what Gainai can go ahead and pull out here. And of course, Protoman has demonstrated a willingness to kind of dip his feet into the waters of harder but more time-saving strats, like going for Owless, but we'll see what he decides to opt for in this race. So, all right, we're getting through the intro real quick. I'm going to go right on ahead and the Lakitu skip right after. So there's numerous ways you can actually do Lakitu skip, even though it's such a short trick right at the start of the run. You can either kick Mario to the right and then start like long jumping towards the bridge. And if you do that correctly, you'll actually set the camera up to where it's just dead centered on the bridge railing. And so it's very easy to adjust Mario for Lakitu skip. But you see Protoman here doing a long jump setup where you don't get the good camera angle, but you save a little bit of time from not going out of your way to the right. And then Gainai doing a very, very nice fast diving setup. These two setups you saw from these runners are a little bit harder than that kick to the right that you see some runners do. Most notably Cheese. In like no movement will save more than like maybe a quarter second from any other movement. It's just down to personal preference of how much time you want to save and versus how consistent you are at each given format of the skip. So Gainai with a big bomb saving a little time over Protoman's medium. But both players moving right into the slide. No real big lead forming on either side. Yeah, TGC, it's all for the cam. All for the camera. But what's a little weird to me about that strat is the timing is actually a little tight for like how exactly you kick and then long jump as like compared and do the camera movement. Well, like it's very easy to get a camera that's still slightly askew if you're not careful. Like once you've grinded it a lot, then you'll get a consistent cam. But it just, to me personally, that extra like bit of precision to make sure you got the right cam just wasn't really worth it compared to just grinding out like the long jump strat that you saw Protoman do and just accept the awkward cam. Because it's also like the trick is more precise than a lot of casual viewers might think. Like you got to be right on the edge of the bridge. Like Mario will only run on the bridge if his center is still over the bridge railing, and you need his center to be like right over like the seam of the bridge railing. It's like really, really close. So even when you get the good camera angle, it does help in lining things up, but like there is still a chance that you'll fail it just because like it's such a precise trick. It's just that since it's right at the start of the run, you do it so many times that you just get good at it inherently. And speaking of getting good at things, both players with a nice cannon miss. And so let's see what they opt to move for here. Pura going right on into 100 coin. Might be going for Owl full this time around. But Gainai going for Owlless. Oh, barely sliding out of the cage. Yeah, I'm not sure about pixel perfect, but it's very, very tight. Like, you can have just like the left edge of Mario's shoe still on the bridge, and it'll still fail. Like, it's weird. And what's also one thing that's kind of bad about like the more advanced setups that don't straighten right up with the edge of the bridge is that also means that your timing for actually jumping off the very edge of the bridge is very tight. And so like sometimes you'll time it a little bit too early, and so your jump doesn't get input, and then Mario runs just a little bit on the bridge and you hear his footsteps, which tells you you definitely could have skipped Lakitu if you would have jumped right. And that just always feels terrible. Like anytime you fail Lakitu skip, but you hear just a couple little footsteps beforehand, you're just like, oh, come on, I could have had it. But that is one thing that gets a little bit more so avoided with the straightening up setup. Nice wild blue from Protoman as Gainai just moving right through 100 coin. Alright, Proto with a very comfy triple jump up to the womp here. Oh, Proto with a very optimal pound there. Pounding like right as the womp flattened out on the ground. If you pound just a little too early, you can actually get the noise and the animation of like the sparks flying in the dust, but the hit doesn't count. It's really weird. So, alright, Protoman with top of the fortress. Missing... Okay. One really dumb mechanic about this game is when Mario starts to slide down a slope, he can't jump for 4 frames. And in a situation like the top of this slope, and Protoman is doing something very, very strange and honestly not at all recommended. He's going for Alice with the tower loaded. As you can tell, the game seems to be running a little bit slower than it would otherwise. And that's you're not just imagining things. Like the tower being on the right side causes lag, and the camera angle there reduces a little bit of it compared to just using the owl, but like with the tower spawn, a big reason why using the owl is slower is having the tower spawn causes lag in the cage. But doing owlets with the tower spawn negates a lot of the time save that you would normally have, because like you're incurring more lag than normal. And so now Protoman is going to go ahead and try again on top of the fortune. Does get it first try this time at least. But yeah, so you saw like Protoman jumped up that slope and then like kind of waited for Mario to slide down before jumping to actually get on top of the fortress. Like he had to wait for Mario to slide down just a little bit before he actually hit A, otherwise the jump would have gotten eaten. It's a really weird mechanic that is kind of hard to account for sometimes. In particular, Lakitu bounce. You'll sometimes see people get the bounce and get onto like the edge of the plank, but then just fall right off. And that's because Mario, like in some cases, doesn't have 4 frames to slide down that plank before he just falls off. And of course, you'll see some people sometimes that they get enough distance onto the plank where he has plenty of frames to slide down before you start to jump. But you try to hit A too early, your jump gets eaten, and then by the time you can react, Mario has so much speed that you're off the slope. So that's just another thing that you have to account for in this game, and if you don't, like, it'll cost you all the time. Herman with some decently clean flying. The Gainai already in Dark Room. Herman just behind though. A nice rollout skip from the ground from Protoman. Protoman having a lot of issues on this starting movement. I think just missed the switch and then had an issue with actually long jumping after he did hit the switch. So just issues all around. Gainai, meanwhile, trying to get this like half cycle, but not quite able to grab the coin. So just kind of weird Dark Worlds from both players, but no deaths just yet. HTM, I believe in those situations there would be a rematch, although we do have the capacity of timing all the way down to the frame. And so, like, if necessary, like, a player can win by 1 frame if, like, we time it and, like, accurately one player finished a frame ahead of the other. But, like, in the event of a frame perfect tie, I believe it's just a rematch. All right, Gainai done with Dark World. Pro just behind. Protoman gets blessed with the dance. Bowser dancing like that at the start, there's like a 10% chance or so for that to happen. And if it does, he doesn't turn to follow you around as you start to run around him. So you can run around him a little bit faster and grab him faster. I think it saves like a third or a fourth of a second or something like that. I think it's a third. But it only happens about a 10% time, so like it's not something to depend on at all. It's mainly just nice if you happen to get it and know what to do with it, because you do have to like do your spin a little bit differently since you're starting from a different position. So Gainai with a nice sky jump. EBM, I believe that happened with like an Odyssey match. And I'm pretty sure that it was like they rescheduled the match after that, or like they rematched the 2 players. I think was what happened. Or it might have happened in this game last season, because I think the Odyssey thing I was thinking of happened like the season before. I'm not even sure. Everything starts to blur together. All right, and Gainai, nice wall kicks will work. Oh, Protoman having a lot of issues grabbing this penguin. And Gainai getting bopped right off of the ledge there. Yeah, there may have been one in this game last season. I actually don't remember. I'm not sure if I was here for that one. Like, I don't think it was a match that I calmed or anything like that. Otherwise, I definitely would have remembered it. Protoman diving right into the cavern. Meanwhile, Gainai actually going to go ahead and get his 100 coin without actually getting the slide skip, so he's going to have to do double plus, feeling himself for sure. But we'll see if that pays off or if that ends up costing him. Oh, I'm not sure. I don't actually remember hearing about that, if that did happen. One thing I know happened with this game is Tago at one point was 2nd place by 2 frames in 70 star. He managed to get a PB that was exactly 2 frames behind Cheese's then world record. But I mean, I can definitely believe there being a 2 frame tie in this game. Like, I've seen like a few second ties. I think I've seen like 2 or 3 matches that have been a 60-30 point split, which means that they finish within 10 seconds of each other. Okay, it was definitely a race here. Okay. So Gainai done with CCM, just 1 star short of what Protoman's end total will be. Didn't have to do too much extra movement. Was able to finish out with a pretty decent coin count. I don't think he actually had to do any extra movement. And Proto has a ton of extra coins from grabbing the safety red, but That's fine. That just one thing that's weird to get used to as a beginner is when you grab the safety red, like you have to keep very intricate track of your coin count to know how many to skip on the end. So when you get to the very last line of coins leading to where you end up spawning the star, you want to have either 85 or 86 coins and no more. If you have more coins, then the star will spawn so far up the slope that a long jump can't reach it, and you have to do like a lot of jump and then kicks backwards in order to get back there for the star, and it's very, very slow. You'll lose like 15 seconds or more just to having to do dumb movement. So you want to have either 85 or 86 coins to make sure the star is in long jumping range. But in order to ensure that, after you grab the safety red, you sometimes have to miss like a pretty fair number on the end that just looks awkward. Wall kick's working out for Protoman though, as he's now going to be joining Gainai in BBH. Gainai though already 1 star down. Showing Boo what for on the balcony. Now just going to go ahead and steal his bookcase treasure as well. And so Gainai's SSL is definitely going to be nerve-wracking. We'll see how much he's confident in class. Hopefully, we're only going to see 2 attempts, but who knows. Okay, so he's got the rabbit in hand. He's about to enter the sand realm. Kaizen from last race has a very particular name for SSL that I think is very fitting. I can't say it on the stream, but it's pretty much how this stage normally goes. And Protoman having big issues with the side flip wall kick. Wall kicks are hard because depth perception is hard. And Gainai almost making the hard look easy with that Tama Plus, but not quite getting the regrab to work out like they wanted. I don't even know what that bonk was, because it wasn't even like a full bonk. It was just weird. And I also really hate how, like, the full wall paintings like these, you can bonk on the edges like that. I saw it, but since I couldn't explain it, I didn't want to talk about it. Because I don't really know what happened on that one. Gainai 2 backups down, 0 plus is completed. I'm pretty sure I have seen Gainai. I think I might be confusing with another runner. I think I've seen Gainai occasionally go for the HMC early route on purpose, so like maybe that's his actual game plan here. I'm not really sure. He is. Oh, poor Gainai. He finally gets the bomb grab and gets onto the pyramid, but just a slight too far left angle caused him to just grab the star instead. Oh, and Protoman clipping right through the pyramid, taking a death in the maze. Oh, man. What an SSL. SSL just taking both of these players for a ride. Oh, poor Gainai. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, and then Proto taking yet another death. What is even happening now? Both of these players in really dire straits in SSL. Looks like Gainai missing the double jump on the slope. Just like nothing is working for anyone right now. Proto getting Tama plus, and he's on the pyramid again. Let's see, he's trying to clip in. He's in the hole. Protoman, the first one to finally get a plus attempt through, and gets Tama plus of all things. And so with that, Proto putting himself in a really, really nice position to potentially steal this lead out from under Gainai. Gainai does finally get his first plus as well. Honestly, if I were Gainai, I would cut my losses. and just go ahead and take the HMC early route, but he's not going to do that. He's grabbing Pyramid Secrets. He is committed to Plus now.
Here we go!
Yeah, EVM9, that sounds about right.
Go.
And so with that, with just mainly a routing decision, Protoman now in the lead, as Gainai just continues to struggle desperately with Plus. Yeah, SSL really taking absolutely no prisoners with Gainai.
Go.
Oh, Gainai trying for a weird regrab there. Oh, and then not even able to like get back up the slope. Just wow. Gainai is really struggling right now. He's got the Tamari grab. He's got the double jump. This could be the final attempt he needs. His angle's a little bit offset, but he's there. Okay. Okay, and Gainai is finally done with SSL, but Protoman now with a 2-star lead due to all his shenanigans with this bomb. This is not going at all according to Gainai's plan. SSL is the best level in the game, objectively false. How can you say that when HMC exists? It's a pretty decent level design though. It's some fun stuff. The pyramid is stupid cool. I will say the pyramid is cooler than the volcano. I don't care who disagrees with me on that. The pyramid is definitely cooler than the volcano. And like, by and away, both of them are way cooler than the igloo. The igloo is just dumb. You go in the igloo and you're just like, oh look, ice. I didn't expect anything different from an igloo. Cool. Alright, long jump lava boost from Gainai. And it's good. They hated the commentator for he spoke the truth. Protoman falling down on elevator tour. Oh man. Okay, you know what, Reed? You're right. I hate that you're right, but you're right. It is more satisfying to jump in the volcano. Because when you jump in the volcano, you're like, I'm jumping in a volcano right now. Oh my god. But when you jump in the pyramid, you're just like, oh, what's this little hole here? I mean, yeah, EBM's exactly right. Like, there isn't that much there. Like, the pyramid feels stuffed with stuff, but like the volcano, it's just very clear. Like, I'm just taking a spiral up the outside. Cool. And a nice triple bully from Protoman. I think both our players are done with all their volcano shenanigans, so. Volcano equals lava pyramid. That's a pretty common theory, yep. Gainai with a nice triple kill. Hitting them as 2 separate groups, but with the same ground pound. Alright, Proto with big bully gun. Oh, I stand corrected. Gainai had one more trip left into the volcano, this time for elevator tour. It's kind of funny to me how Lava Boost, there are like a lot of little strat optimizations you can do, all the way up to like Draws's ridiculous single star, like supersonic boost as he calls it. But then elevator tour, like there's one really optimal way of doing it, and then everything else is just kind of maybe a little easier, but also loses time. And like you're not really gonna get faster than the optimal way to do it. And it's not that hard, especially like compared to the hard forms of Lava Boost that save time. So, alright, Gainai with some log rolling, just with no log rolling. Hey, okay, this is probably a super uncommon thing, but just let me go on my tangent here. I've been getting these emails recently from a local log rolling place, and like, I've never given my email. I don't really give my email out. Like, I don't like. I don't just make random accounts for stuff, right? So like, I don't know how this place got this. I've never log rolled in my life. I learned everything I know now about log rolling from these stupid emails, and so like. I don't know. I don't know how they get this information from me, but I've got like 5 emails from these people with like coupons and like telling me about their log rolling facility, and I'm like, great, cool. How did you get this handle? Like, I'm about as interested in log rolling as Mario is on Red Hot log rolling, and that's not at all. I don't want my logs to roll at all. I'd rather skip over my logs with wall kicks or flying. Nice rear sub from Proto.
Here we go!
Log roll percent. Okay, so that category would just be rotate every log in the game at least one full rotation, right? So you've got the log in LLL, there's one in TTM. Is there another one? I don't know if there's another one or not. I know there's no log in DED. There is a manta ray, however, and that manta ray is dumb. Welcome to the speedrun gang. Let's see some clocks in the chat. Proto now moving on into Fire Sea. Let's see how well he's going to be able to maintain his lead here. I think if he manages to hit Lava Boost, Gainai will be very hard pressed to match that up. Gainai with a nice rear sub. Oh wow, it's Speedrun. Speedrun has come out of his reclusion and is now talking to chat. Say hi, chat. Protoman with a big fall there. I think early Ellie's is out with that, but yeah, and that backup was definitely a little slower than it could have been. I think early Ellie's isn't really on the table anymore, but it's still fine. Protoman had the time to leave at least. You're mainly looking. Oh yeah, that. Okay. See, the fact that the elevator's already descending, that definitely means that he's missing out. Qualitates, they did a slightly different route in the mid game, but their routes have already converged, so from now on they will likely be doing the exact same route. They might do stars in a slightly different order in each stage, but what stars they do in each stage should be the same all the way through. So Gainai is going to be able to hit Lava Boost and make up a really healthy amount of time. Like, we're talking like Campbell's Chunky Beef Soup Party. Like missing early Ellie's is way more detrimental than you might think. It's like 20 seconds just out the window. And so Proto having to deal with that time loss, but still the full Bowser fight ahead. And this Bowser encounter is decently long. So Gainai also done with the fight. As Proto advancing upstairs, gonna have an encounter with Wet Dry World 100. Now this star isn't too risky, but there is a chance, because RNG is obviously a huge element here. If you fall off the blue coin area and end up missing any of those blue coins, you basically have to go ahead and exit course and just reset the stage. Missing 1 blue coin you can recover from, but 2 you just have to give up and do a different star. Now Proto trying for the triple jump awning wall kick here, but didn't get it first try, so he's just gonna go for this backup movement. Already burning a little bit of his time, but not too much. He's still in a decent position. All right, now Gainai is going to be trying for double box break. Not quite getting it, but that's still fine. Missing that one little straggler coin, but you can grab it on the way back. Oh. All right. So now Protoman getting started with his own reds as Gainai about midway through. You see, like, Proto killing the spider there, and the RNG was so bad that you had to kind of double back there. For like a very inexperienced player, there'd be a chance that you would just like fall off the side there while you're trying to grab all those coins. Or like you get ahead of yourself and think, oh, let me grab the coin that fell down there. And then you end up missing the blue and put yourself in a whole other world of hurt, as opposed to just missing one coin. Gainai very nearly able to skip past the Chucky's RNG pattern, but ending up having to just go ahead and do a quick double back for one extra coin. Proto getting about like the same time loss on his spray. Kind of funny. And so with that, Protoman is done with this and another star already, whereas Gainai is really just getting started with the stage. All right, very nice. And Protoman done with shocking arrowless, just has top of the town left to go. This Gainai done with express elevator, just a couple more stars, including the one Proto just got through with. This star is fairly easy, although there is one little trick. So right here, you see Gainai, when he enters the warp, like, he does a dive, rollout, and then just immediately warps. If you try to do that yourself, what'll probably happen is Mario will, like, roll out, and then when he hits the ground, like, kind of straighten himself out and then warp. To skip over that, you have to have Mario, like, touch the wall right in front of him and, like, basically try to push against the wall and then go neutral. And if you do it right, what happens is like the game just completely skips over that straightening out animation, starts like the wall pushing animation, and then stops that because you let go of the stick, and then immediately starts the warp after all of that. Whereas normally it would do the straightening out animation and then warp. And so by touching the wall, you just make that whole process go faster. And it actually saves like a whole second. It's more than you might think, as small of a thing as it actually is. Proto having a little bit of an issue with secrets, but working his way through just fine. And Gainai also pulling out some decent secrets here. Alright, Proto with top of the island. I don't think he normally goes... Yeah. So this movement here is pretty neat, because you can just do that if you don't really go for mountain clip. And if you do this movement optimally compared to the island clip, it saves like a third of a second. Or it loses a third of a second. So that actually makes the island clip like not super worth it if you can do that movement very consistently. Alright, so Proto with piranhas. This guy also with piranhas. Yeah, this is a very close one. And we're moving into a really hard stage now. So this next stage coming up is going to be the first of many great equalizers. It can definitely impact how the rest of this run is going to go. All right, Proto first mountain clip time. And he's up there. Log wall kick. And it's good. Gets the ledge grab. Instant setup there for the next bit of movement. Gonna go with very, very clean decision there. It's gonna lose a little bit of time compared to the wall kick ending, but is very, very safe. Gainai just a little bit too high on the log, so it tried to ledge grab him instead of wall kicking him. All right, Perna with a very, very clean second attempt here. And 2 mountain clips, 2 log wall kicks, and 2 stars later. He's done with the top of this mountain. Just has to mess around with the bottom half now. Alright, so Perna not going for the most optimal reds, but I can definitely sympathize. And kind of an awkward side flip there. It looked for a moment like he was going for the side flip wall kick, but that definitely wouldn't have been the case with some of his other movement here. Oh, Gainai getting a little bit bopped by one of these platform walls. And so he's finally going to be able to make his way up here. Okay, cool. Okay, so now a quick little blast to a lonely mushroom, and then Protoman will finally be on his way out. And Gainai, of course, does still have a couple more left to go. Proto went for breezeless but didn't have quite enough height. If you see Mario attempt to clip in like that but then get pushed back out, that means you didn't have enough height. And so the fence pushed Mario in, but then the game didn't have a floor to set Mario on top of, so the game just said, oh, okay, push him back away from the fence. Alright, Gainai reaching the top of this mountain. A personal summit maybe, or just part of the run. Who knows? Protoman starting off Snowman's Land, though. Let's see what exactly he's able to do with the top of Snowman's big head here. Alright, very, very fast Snowman's big head. Gainai, it looked like the height was good. I couldn't quite tell, but the distance wasn't quite close enough to get pulled in by the fence. Protoman with nice deep freeze. Gainai is still keeping this really, really nice and close. For DIY, a lot of players opt for the original N64 controller. You will also see some players opt for either a GameCube controller with an adapter or a Hori Minipad 64. But I believe both of these runners play on OEM. I could be wrong, though. A number of our league runners run on less common options, like Benji, for instance, runs on GameCube. Alright, Gainai whirling from the freezing pond, Protoman taking the whirling instruction a little bit too literally. Okay, a couple more for Gainai, and he will be working his way down to the basement, but Protoman is already right there. All right, so both players now on their way back to their HMC return trip. Proto already down in the basement collecting his second MIPS, and I just a quick little chill sesh with the local bully away from doing the same. And so I wonder how nervous both these players are about Tippy coming up, especially if they happen to know how close they are to each other. Because this is still a really, really tight race. Anything could conceivably happen. Anything. So we'll just have to see what part of everything happens. So, alright, Gainai also reaching on in for the MIP star grab. This Proto, let's see what he starts with. He's starting with right side something, probably triple box, and yep. This Gainai also has MIPS, and so Gainai does have to talk to this little toad real quick. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? Also, if you remember me talking earlier, I think last match, about Toad having to be completely opaque to talk to him, you might have noticed there Gainai like walked pretty close to Toad and then like waited and like kind of stutter step to actually get near Toad before trying to talk to him. Gainai with a nice box triple. Proto with 2 stars left in the stage. Alright, Proto with these boulders. Clean. Each TM, it's because every time you choose to save and continue, the game pauses for just a moment to actually save. Whereas if you choose continue without saving, the moment you hit A, you regain control of Mario. I believe you lose 8 frames to every time you hit save and continue instead of continue without saving. And you don't lose any time to scrolling down because there's a little pause between like when the options appear and when they're actually selectable. So you can actually see here in a previous race, someone landed on the slope just beside the one that Gainai landed on. But right there, the slope Gainai landed on was not slidable, so Gainai was able to just like get right up off it with a nice quick jump. Yeah, what TGC said. It's just like the game just stops for a sec and like it feels like a stutter more than anything. And it only loses 8 frames, but like just the fact that there's 70 stars throughout the run, like you want to skip as many saves as you can. You lose 2,000 plus when you save and quit. Yup. Also a fun fact, HMC, the stage that Gainai's in now, is the worst stage to save and quit in. The best stage to save and quit in is HMC if you're done with it. Alright, so Proto is now in Tippy. And he is now off the Lakitu. Alright, Proto's got Lakitu bounce out of his way, and now Gainai is approaching the star door to start the same. And it's a pretty significant lead for Proto, but it is definitely not insurmountable, especially with what we've seen Tippy throw at people. Gainai not getting the wall kick there, so Lakitu bounce not quite pulling off for him. Gonna have to go with Reds as a backup while Proto goes with tricky triangles real quick. Alright, Gainai kind of stumbling through Reds. An awkward backup for him, it seems. Now Protoman is going to be advancing into his own reds. Let's see if he's able to kind of retain some more composure than what Gainai had here. All right, so Proto now done with reds. Just one more star left in Rainbow Ride. And then a couple more left for Gainai, but pretty close to moving on over to TTC himself as well. That is literally what I was talking about earlier, where you can land on the edge of the slope, but you can't jump. That's what happened to Gainai there. If you rewatch that, Gainai was on like the very lip of the slope and just wasn't able to input a jump before he fell off. I guarantee if you count, you can count 3 or less frames of dust behind Mario as he's sliding down that slope. All right, now Proto in TTC, Gainai 2 stars left in Rainbow Ride. Oh, Gainai not quite advancing high enough after bouncing and climbing onto the pole. And so bopping himself right back down into having to deal with the trick again. Oh, trying to take that back up there, but just nothing quite working out for Gainai. Is Proto just advancing deep into the clock now. All right, Gainai's got the bounce. He's got the height this time. Let's see if he's able to go ahead and finish it out. No double wall kick, but I can't blame him after 2 fails like that. Oh, Proto does miss a time-moving triple. The backup for this is kind of awkward. Oh, Proto's going to take a death on that. Not too surprising. Time-moving triples can be somewhat fickle because you might think that you know them really well because you practice them a lot, but no. Oh, the almost nice side flip triple jump from Heisen, or Porto, sorry. All right, Porto finishing up time jumps on moving bars. Just 4 stars left in TTC as Gainai now advances on into 100 coin for the first time. Okay, Proto now getting the time moving triple. As Gainai moves on into 100 coin. Well, a little bit of an issue, but Gainai getting it sorted out. All right. And now Protoman looks like just going to be doing 100 coin last, which is a decision that can be made, yes. It just seems to be a weird one. All right. So now Proto getting started with his own 100 coin here. Let's see how it goes. Oh, a little bit of an issue. Tried to back it up with a wall kick, but didn't quite work out. Proto now able to go ahead and do this backup here. Kind of struggling with the intro of 100 coin, but he can definitely pick up some good momentum later on. Alright, so some nice blue collection. kind of a misplaced jump, but overall, nice movement through this midsection. That's easy to mess up and lose time on. All right, he can afford to miss one coin. Easy. The Protoman's back half of this 100 coin was really, really nice. The front half, not so much. And the RNG not really playing nicely on the very, very tail. Oh well.
Here we go!
But it's about to be over for Gainai because Protoman is about to collect his 69th star, and then his Toad star, and then thus adventure into bits. But not quite without a fight, because Gainai is pretty close in star count, so with a few missed throws and a few nice fall downs, Proto could definitely make this race a lot more interesting for the ending.
Here we go!
Alright, but Proto headed on up into bits. It's do or die time. Let's see what he decides. Gainai with time jumps on moving bars himself. Verdi, it just depends on the runner's personal preference. Some do and some don't. Protoman, nice call there, readjusting that. He wasn't quite sure of his angle, so just gonna go ahead and not wing it. Take it a little bit safe. Honestly, Gamble Mountain, like this level isn't quite as bad of a run killer as like Fire Sea or Dark World. I would say Fire Sea is much, much harder with reds than Bits without. Bits with reds, though, is very, very difficult. It's a gauntlet. Nothing in that stage makes sense with reds. The only decent thing about it is you don't have to do that, like, standing or moving left side or, like, moving right side when you do that movement instead. All right, though, Protoman in the final Bowser fight. Bits not presenting too much of an issue for him. Gainai, meanwhile, just behind, about to talk to Toad himself. Let's see, 2. Proto just needs one more throw to clinch this one out. And, oh, a little too far to the right. Oh, man. It's always disappointing. I think that's also a little too, yep, a little too far to the right yet again. It's a Protoman winding way up, but he does manage to get this third throw this time as Gainai takes a big old bonk and dive right to his death. All right, so Protoman with a 52-4, looks like a 3. Yeah, 52-43. Nice. A little bit unoptimal of a time, but that's just what happens sometimes. Gainai trying his best to finish this one out. And he should still definitely get a fair number of points. Not a ton of points, but a decent number for coming within like about 2.5 minutes. Gainai, I'm going for right side here. The play, not quite working out though. And then the retry just doesn't quite work at all. Gainai getting a little bit lucky there that the moving platform was right where he wanted it to be. Gainai falling all the way down to the first level. But Gainai just carrying on, getting back through all these obstacles a second time. Okay, 2 health left. Let's see what Gainai decides to. He's going for broke. Not dead just yet, though. I don't understand why he's not grabbing that line of coins on that slope. Like, you have to pass by that slope anyway. You may as well grab the line of coins there. Going for moving left side and does get it. And he passed through the heart, so his health is no longer in red bar. Thankfully. Alright, Gainai about to be in the pipe. And let's see what this fight looks like. Remember, Proto did miss like 2 or so throws, so we'll see if Gainai can at least win in the throws department. Okay, first throw is good. Oh, second throw, not so much. It's easy to just like have a tendency to throw Bowser straight forward. And so if you're not able to align the camera with a bomb straight ahead of you, that makes throwing at a bomb even harder. But that is a habit you kind of get out of eventually. Gainai not spinning quite enough times in order to spin Bowser fast enough there. Alright, second one out of the park. Let's see, there's one more on its way, and there we go! Gainai finishing off with a mid-high 55. About the same time as Protoman, actually, just like 3 minutes behind. So, GG's to Gainai. I'm going ahead and finishing this one out, despite, I'm sure, being a little bit of a struggle. Trying to slide kick into the star, but not quite. GG's to both of these racers. Protoman with a pretty decent 52, and Gainai with a nice 55. Considering all the mistakes, Gainai should definitely be proud of this one. Like, Plus just did not really work for Gainai, really, at all. But anyway, that will go ahead and do it for the night. Thanks everyone for coming by for our Mario 64 action. Of course, we will be live with 24/7 speedrun content after this all night long and for the next couple of days. We do, of course, always have Task Tuesdays where we play nice tasks for you, and then World Record Wednesdays where we play some World Record VODs. In the meantime, if you want some more Mario action, we've got all of our VODs on our YouTube channels. We've got one YouTube channel just with highlights, the other with all of our races archived. And of course, if you want more Mario action, come by next week on Monday. We've got some more action starting bright and early, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All the runners and the commentators featured today all stream on Twitch, so of course drop the follows if you enjoyed what you saw and heard today. And as always, thanks so much for stopping by. We love having you at the Global Speedrun Association. Hope to see you around soon, but if it might be a while, thanks for coming by, and we enjoyed having you. Peace out, everyone. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week with more Mario action.
They are synced.
They are synced now. Do whatever. In the lead again. Wow.